The show features adults using adult language and discussing mature topics. You have been warned. Oh, hey, look at that.
So
we're
are we
live.
live? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We're live in time for me to bully my girlfriend.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. So does anybody want to recap what the heck was happening last time?
I don't know. It's been like a month.
I say
Has
the
it
one
been?
who was in the fight.
No, it's
picks.
been
We
2
recap.
weeks.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it's been a very long 2 weeks.
It's
Rooney.
been a month since I was here.
fair.
It's been a very long 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm actually
Mass
seriously
Effect.
trying to remember.
So,
Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out in the meantime, so it's a whole different world now.
Gruk fought something that was unwise to fight.
Oh, yeah. I was by myself in the fight arena. Was that like the whole session?
yeah, that was effectively the whole session with
Pretty
you.
much.
getting
Yeah,
your
because
shit
then my
pushed in.
laser elemental came out and wreaked havoc, and you guys had to deal with that.
Yes.
While you were
Mhm.
still in the middle of the fight.
That's why I don't remember, because I burned out my brain pulling up like 3D, like 4D chess, trying to figure out how to beat this thing with supplemental spells.
I am sorry.
Had it been anything
It was
but an
my-
iron golem, you probably would have had a bit of an advantage.
It
Not
was-
clay golem, Scotty would have had a massive disadvantage.
yeah.
Clay
It
golems are
was.
terrifying.
I will say it was an awesome fight. It was
Yes.
fantastic. So I did do a little bit of watching of last week's, but first off, shout out to Sirenscape. They're super cool. I have no idea.
Kevin. Kevin. I just saw
No
his arm for
idea.
just a brief moment.
I saw his fingers above my head. I'm like, why is my green screen? Oh, Jesus, you look like a fucking spider. Anyway,
Okay, one thing real quick before we start.
Yes.
Before stream shout out. So our friend Phoenix Iwaki, I think they're done with this, but I mean, they might be doing it for more of today. But they're doing a charity stream with the Games Tavern, and it's for feeding hungry kids, if I recall. So if you follow the Games Tavern on Twitter, they'll have more news on the stream. Let's see. They don't see the time. No, oh, those are Eastern time zones. So they're doing like Dragon Heist, Descent into Avernus, something called Three Flings Uncaged Anthology and stuff over on their Twitch channel. And it's going to be it's all weekend. So I'll definitely go check it out when you can, maybe after this game. Sorry.
so shout out to Sirenscape. They're super cool. The link is somewhere around. It's $22 every other month for their board game, sci-fi, and fantasy soundtracks. We are right now listening to Nebula, Falling Stars. And as for a little bit of a recap, the group is in the city of Los Angeles. They've come here at the request of the Lords and Ladies of Del Diablo on something of a diplomatic mission to try and smooth over relations, specifically not within Los Angeles, but with two of their neighbors, Neo Tokyo and Gothopolis, who were the two cities hardest hit in the world by the atomic burners. Although Passion's announcement did turn some hearts, the folks of Neo Tokyo were not quite so moved by it. However, the acting president of Los Angeles has come to the conclusion that it seems like the leadership of Neo Tokyo is acting a little bit out of character for normal for them. And having seen evidence of corrupted Psyblight intellect devourers in other cities, is now very worried about the leadership in Neo Tokyo. While waiting to determine where this meeting was going to be held, the group decided to go to a fight club. Onyx and Passion thoroughly thrashed their opponents. But when Cyberus went to enter the ring, Gruk drank an unexpected potion that switched places between the two of them. and Gruk entered the ring with an iron golem. It did not go super well for him.
Naked.
That too, yes, naked. Not that it would have made much difference. It did not go super great. It actually did make for a very entertaining fight, however, but Gruk did not win. However, those who did win, so Passion and Onyx, did get the opportunity for a handful of free tattoos or cybernetics if they so choose while they're here in the city. And Onyx went home with her challenger for a night of fun. You guys, the rest of the group returned to the home of Krishnarya, the UNT mage that is your contact in the city. And over dinner, Gruk explained to her some of the information that he had learned about the Trog and the origins of their curse that seems to have been passed down to them from the god Paku Paku in vengeance for some service that they had failed to do for him. I believe we left off with the group of you taking your long rest. So I'll say that as you guys come to in the morning and wake up, fully rested, all your spells and hit points restored, what do you want to do?
You know what I forgot?
What's that?
Look at the magic tattoo stuff. Oops. Well, it takes a couple of sessions to do a tattoo,
Yeah.
right? So.
Well, it takes a couple of hours at least, so you can look
Yeah.
at it and decide.
I did
So-
send you mine, Kat, so
You did, and I believe that
you never replied anything
I-
back to it.
So I think the reason that I didn't is because I said it on stream, and I want to say that you can get those. I believe those two would count as your rare. I think you
Mhm.
guys were both granted a rare, either cybernetic or tattoo.
Yeah. Honestly, the first two are kind of like later, but the last two are the ones that I want now.
And we could get some
say that you
also.
could
Like
get-
one rare run is free, and the other ones we have to pay for.
Yeah, she'd pay for the two spell ones because she wants those like
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Do you know
So
the
I-
cost for them?
I'll look
Or
it
do you
up
need me
again
to-
because I forgot, and I'll look it up now. 'Cause I had it, and then
What levels are they?
let me check. Zone of Truth is 2nd level,
Okay.
and the other one is also 2nd level.
Oh, sweet. Convenient.
Yeah, it was very convenient actually. I'm smarter than I thought I was.
Okay, so I will say that the Detect Thoughts one is a bit more rare and kind of shady-ish. So that one is 525, and the Zone of Truth is 150.
All right, I've subtracted that gold from my total.
Baller.
And I figure the other
So-
two, you can tell me the price of the cheapest one, because Passion's getting the most expensive one as her free one, because of course she is.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
But she'll need to get rid of the
Um,
one of her, at least one of the tattoos before she does that. So.
Yeah.
Because I can
Okay.
only have 3 attunement slots, so
That
4
is
Magitats
correct.
don't work.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my god, I found him. I found Cat Clooney.
Hey! Sorry, Alt.
So, you guys come to in Krishnarya's home. She had set out a bunch of cots for you in her spare bedroom in her very small but comfortable home. And I believe all of you were in it except for Demona, who was in a closet
and
that
Onyx.
has a and Onyx. In a closet that has a magical mansion inside there.
Well, to be fair, I did go into the room she offered and just opened the door to the dimension there.
Yeah. You just didn't invite any of your allies.
No, I mean, hey, it's Demona's own thing. Now she doesn't get the temp HP from passion.
Is that still 10?
Actually, I think no, you do, because you were out by the time. It is. Let me double check because I am smart and remember shit.
Mm-hmm. Very smart. Much
That's
remember.
2 lies. Yes, 10 HP for you guys.
Good.
10 HP for everyone who was in the same room as Passion.
Did you almost just say 10 HP for everybody who slept with Passion?
Yes.
Okay.
No, those get 20.
No, they get 15, the same as Passion. I mean, am I wrong with that? You all slept in the same room as Passion, therefore slept with Passion. It was a night of passion.
You guys come to the. Actually, I think we might have gone to breakfast, but I'll say yeah. You guys have awoken, eaten breakfast, and Krishnarya is sitting at the like low table on a cushion cross-legged, just looking to the rest of you. So, any idea what your plans are for the rest of the day? You guys know that you do have your meeting with the politicians in about 3 hours or so.
I gotta go get some tattoos.
I feel like I got 3 hours. You know, I'm just gonna get this whole sleeve. You know.
Yep. No, even more than a sleeve. She's getting 2 tattoos done in that time.
I'm going to activate my chemical factory while we're just hanging out in the morning.
I like to think Gruk's comically in like an almost full body cast, and he just like barely can get a good berry through a straw.
Okay, I'll say that. So you guys did know that you were going to do this. I'll say that Passion, you would have had time to do one the night before and wake up early enough to get one done right before you guys head out, because the
Oh God, your arm's
uncommon
gonna ache.
Honestly,
spell
so
tattoos
Scotty, have you had a tattoo
cost-
before?
do take 5 hours.
Obviously not.
Because I honestly, I'll probably do this too. Honestly, after your first tattoo, you don't feel much after it. And depending on where you get it from, it also depends on where you get it too. Oh yeah, that would be nightmare pain. But yeah, like here when I got mine, I felt nothing the entire time. It didn't matter. Yeah. As long as it depends on where it is. And Passion would definitely get hers probably on her shoulder, where you feel literally nothing.
The other thing is though it depends what the placement and the design of the tattoo usually has some to do with the spell.
It depends on the shading too.
Yeah,
the shading is the hardest part about it.
The Zone of Truth one could be either on the like palm of your right hand or right over your heart or on your throat. And the mind reading one,
she would want it hidden as possible, so on her chest.
Okay, and the mind reading one would either be on the back of the neck or on the forehead.
On the back of the neck, because then she can cover that up.
Yep.
Granted, it doesn't matter because I say that, and I'm like, it doesn't matter because all she's gonna do is just change how she looks anyway. So she can just make it look. She could get a tattoo on her forehead and then make it look like nobody can ever see it.
I rolled 2 healing potions for the chemical factory.
Nice.
Those are up for grabs if anyone is injured.
I don't think we'll need it for a bit.
You saw me drill them into jars.
Yeah, Passion's nope. That's a note for me, dog.
I just imagine Onyx walking up. Ooh, morning boost.
Yeah, I'll say that as he's bottling those up is about when you roll in.
So I do.
Yeah,
need
Onyx literally looks at you and is like, "You're starting early."
In reverse.
You were saying, Demona?
I do believe I have a few contacts to make before our particular meeting. So I try to get those done.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d20 plus 6 for me.
Alrighty. 23 for that total.
Okay. So the information that you were specifically looking for was regarding which politicians were acting weird, right?
And Passion did ask that too.
And you were saying?
and trying to specifically get any type of undercover agents in there as either assistants or moles or any other type of information gathering. Almost use the word assailant, but that's not the right word here. Spies, that's the word I was looking for, to try and get as much information to pinpoint the one we're looking for or the ones that are acting the most out of character.
Okay. All right, so for that, I'll say that in the future to do elaborate stuff like that, we should maybe RP that specifically, but I'll say for this time, you do have one of your staff that will be in the like catering area that should have access to the room where this meeting is going to be taking place. You do also learn that of the individuals that are acting a little out of character, Emiko Sasaki is genuinely looking very much different. She is an expert in corporate law and has been making a bunch of strange decisions regarding her businesses that don't necessarily make sense. And like initially a lot of people were like, oh well, she's just, you know, one step ahead of the market and understands what's happening, market trends better than the rest of us. But considering what you know of what Cyblight Devourers can do, it makes you a little bit more question. There is another that your intelligence doesn't reveal that she's not acting particularly out of character as much, but does reveal that one of them, Mariah Kimura, is she on the council? Her regular face is just old money aristocrat. She owns a fuck ton of property in the city, very much into cybernetics, but your intelligence tells you that she was also once a spy. So even if she were compromised, it would probably be hard to tell without some use of magic, and even then she might have some protections against it.
Oof. Alrighty.
You also know that Emiko is always surrounded by a horde of bodyguards that obey her every command.
Got it.
And I will put a recap of this into the chat.
And to be fair, I did want to apologize about that. I wasn't trying to drop that on you. It was something that
you're
was
fine.
brought up, and I thought you would just eventually reach out to me.
You mentioned it, and I completely forgot about it because normally I look at my stuff during the day at like lunchtime, and today at work was just a lot.
That's fair.
So, you guys know that you are going to Pinnacle. It is a entertainment tower, part casino, part like concert hall. That is just on the border between Los Angeles and Neo Tokyo. What do you want to do?
Do we know how we're getting there? Is there like a bus or private limo?
I'll say you could easily pay for a teleportation spell in the city, or a very fast flying car that would take you there. Alternatively, depending on what spells you have prepared, one of you may be able to teleport, or Krishnaria might be able to do it.
All I need are the coordinates, and everybody knows I can teleport us.
Gives coordinates, teleports inside a person.
Huh.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm thinking about how that works with like because there's teleport and teleportation circle. And teleportation circle is like instant, you're there. But like regular teleport comes with like, you might be further off than normal. But how does that work if you have like the geographical coordinates?
I think that would be considered knowing the place.
Yeah, that's what I would count it as.
Okay, so that's the other question. Does Demona have teleport or teleportation circle?
Teleportation circle.
Okay, you can learn the code for it for, I'll say, it's a relatively commonplace 200 gold.
Okay.
How far is it by flying car? Could we just do that?
You could do that, and that would be way cheaper. It would take a bit more time, though. It would probably take like 45 minutes in the fastest flying car you guys can find. It would be cutting it pretty close for Passion getting her tattoo.
If the party wants to travel the stylish route, the scenic route, I'd still want the coordinates just to add it to my list of places that I can get to.
Okay.
And you said it's specifically what tower? Emerald?
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle.
The Pinnacle is the name of it. It's known as a entertainment tower. It's basically a skyscraper devoted entirely to entertainment venues.
In Neo Tokyo, right?
Correct.
Well, I'm content taking a car, but if everyone's going their own way, then we can all just go our own way and get there at the same time.
Do you know Tomo's vehicle might not be as fast as a car?
I just imagine her bike turns into an electric scooter. Just beep.
Would it turn into like
It is-
a rocket motorcycle that flies?
It is fast. But because it's a magical construct, it's not built to have the same speeds as like a flying car would or a top of the line motorcycle would.
Well, I mean, she does have 2 motorcycles and a
Oh.
car.
It's twice as fast.
Are you
Do
like
you know
the
the top speed of one of your cars?
Are you like the main character in Tron Legacy and you just live in a garage?
Just live. Yeah, technically she does. I mean, that's
That is
basically-
Tomo's bedroom, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
that
nice.
is that is her bedroom in the seasonal girls hideout. So
Nice.
I don't have the speed. I don't know if she'd have her car though, because I think when she showed up here, she was working on the engine block still. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I think all you'd have is your summonable motorcycle.
well, she could have brought her other bike that isn't the summonable one.
Do
Would
you know
she
the
have
name
them?
of that bike?
Like in real life, or
Did I give you a name for it? Because I
I
have
don't-
stats for some of them.
think so.
Okay,
Come to
Then-
think of it, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, come to think of it, as many teleportation circles as I happen to be getting, I have my own autonomous bike, my motorcycle.
You
that
sure
I put
do.
so much effort into designing and getting access to, and I have barely wrote it anywhere.
There's actually a saying in Germany. If you love your bike, you push it.
Correct.
Well, this one can
That's a
actually
lie.
transform and just
I disagree
effectively walk
greatly.
around.
It also actually is more meant for bicycles, but you know, it fits.
Hmm,
See, I
that's
disagree
true.
just because cars are meant to be drove. / bikes are meant to be drove.
I mean, yeah, but it just fit.
So, how's everybody getting there?
Cyberus is going to call one of those fast flying cars. Anyone wants to ride with that, he can.
I'm gonna hop in with Cyberus.
Yeah.
I'll say
I'll go with.
for
Since
all
Tomo
of you.
wants to be the loner.
No, if everybody's getting the flying car, she'll get in the flying car.
Get in the fucking flying car, Shinji.
You know Demona. If you want to ride bikes there, she's got no problem hopping on the motorcycle.
Riding bitch.
And there's a
No, her own
timeline.
motorcycle. What the hell is wrong with you?
There's a timetable or something.
Yeah, we do have limited time.
Let's say for all of you, it would be 100 gold.
That's too much.
100 gold.
I don't have
Total.
that kind of
It's like-
money.
Is kind of ridiculously expensive comparatively, but
We
with
can
the
write it
amount
off.
you guys are rolling on,
Passion's like, that's a lot of gold for people?
They'll pay us back once we do the peace talks because
Hera's face.
they're paying us to
Hera's
be here.
face when I said that.
Yeah, Onyx looks at you like she wants to fly up with a magic car and then just drop you out of it.
Who here would take damage from that?
Passion. Everybody would take damage. It's just how much damage you take from said fall.
I think I would. I don't think I would anymore.
No, you still would. You still take damage.
I got upgrades. I think they could.
What upgrade did you get?
How can you upgrade so far that you don't take fall damage anymore, though?
He got a magic
Better
item,
fall?
effectively.
I got burst jets. That give me a
Well,
fly
okay.
speed.
When Passion gets her permanent tattoos, she will no longer be able to be killed by fall damage. Too. She'll have
Just
two ways to
Onyx
mitigate fall damage.
yeeting her out of the car, and then Passion just fell off her.
The Passion is standing there looking at her like, bitch, what?
So, you guys make your way into the vehicle over the the expanse of Los Angeles, and you can see slowly that sort of the mass areas of the city of these like cobbled together homes of repurposed different buildings and vehicles and whatnot slowly gives way to more barren wasteland, dotted by much smaller towns, and then quickly again grows into another city, but this one is much more modern looking, relatively close in style to Del Diablo's or Neo Red Army. It's very much more modern, and you can see as you guys approach, the tallest building within this skyline is a steel and glass structure that's sort of honeycombed with crisscrossing lines, and within each of those is a diamond-shaped window of a different color of this massive tower that goes up for hundreds of feet. There must be at least like 200-300 floors to this building. If you guys would like, you can roll history checks to see if you might know anything about this place.
I don't think Cyberus would know anything.
Sure, why not? I'll roll.
Passion might. So there's
He
a
may have
passion.
heard of this city on the way here.
Yeah, or if any of you have been to Los Angeles before.
15.
Passion's just famous.
Yeah, I guess considering
I got a 21, which is a nat 20.
Nice.
I got 15 total.
19 total.
Okay, so, Passion and Demona, you both know this to be a very, very popular place where tons of concerts are done and like worldwide performances are done. It also has a casino level, several dozen like mall shopping levels. Passion, you do know that one of the Hertz like special tours did show here a few years back. And Gruk, you don't know much about the building itself or like what's inside it, but looking at it, you actually recognize imagery within the structure itself that reminds you a little bit of one of the gods. Reminds you a little bit of the imagery of the god Ikos, the god of light, sunshine, and transformations. Also the patron god of mothling.
Is it blue and buzzing?
No, it's just the
It's
light.
rainbow colors. So you know that
I was joking because moth and electric.
most of the imagery of Ikos, the actual god, depicts them as a So every few centuries, Icos enters a cocoon form that is said to be made from like the dreams and prayers of their worshippers, and emerge as the opposite gender their previous form was. This current incarnation is usually depicted as a woman with massive jeweled wings, featuring the colors of sunset, which the colors within the windows of this building are also showing.
Orange and pink.
Yeah, like orange, pink, yellows, some very bright purples. Yeah, so you guys approach and can see that the front door of this place is absolutely packed with people that are trying to get in, and a very large security force that is very much ensuring that no one can get onto the red carpet except those intended to.
We're VIPs.
I will say, Demona, you also know your intel does tell you that there is a second entrance for the staff and for for like VIP members, for like people that will be performing. That is usually not attended.
Is there like a landing platform for flying cars for like the high rollers? We could just disembark up high.
Yeah, so there is the sort of red carpet goes out onto the regular street, but they also have a bank, a sort of platform up above, where various different cars can park, leave their passengers, and then go fly off to find parking elsewhere. And then those stairs lead back down onto the same red carpet.
Oh, okay.
There is a second path that leads to the main street, though, so you could go onto the street and then back around to that back entrance.
Well,
if you so choose. Or you could go in the front door with the red carpet.
I think if Demona knows a secret way in, that'd be better than anything else.
Passion walks to the red carpet area because it's Passion. You guys can go wherever you want. Passion's walking in the front door because she is fucking famous.
Is all this for us? Are these like famous peace talks?
From what Passion and Demona know, this place is visited by the most, the highest of high rollers. It's usually frequented by big name actors, musicians, artists, politicians. Anybody that has a stupid amount of wealth is at least been here one time, usually.
I imagine this is not Passion's first time even being here. That's what I'm going to say, because that's how she knew about this area.
Demona would probably go through the secret entrance just to try and get some additional intel and not necessarily make a spectacle of herself.
Okay.
I am a spectacle baby.
So who is going through to the red carpet other than Passion?
Onyx follows Passion.
It's
all right.
Hey, look, it's Passion and her entourage.
I follow.
Onyx.
Small amounts of resentment.
Onyx's reason behind it is that Passion draws a lot of attention to herself, which means there will be less attention on her.
Fair.
She's just a random person that gets shoved aside and is like,
You're part of my entourage, Hera.
Get that civilian out of the frame.
Gruk is following with Passion and company, is that right? Okay. So you guys make your way onto the red carpet, and remind me, what does Passion look like right now? Or rather,
her
what does she look like?
Currently, she looks like her tiefling form that she showed up on last time. When she was on the live TV, when she was on the broadcast of dying.
Onyx
she looked like a
wearing
tiefling at that
her
point, too.
sleeveless suit.
And she's probably, since, she's not in her Henshin form, though. She's not wearing her Henshin uniform. She's wearing her nice dress because she figured,
I will say, because you are attended by an entourage and you are making the scene, go ahead and roll a performance check with advantage.
Oh, fuck yeah. My time has come. My plus 10 performance is coming into use.
What the
fuck? So that is a 29 performance.
I have a question, Vex. Did you pick like expertise performance or something?
No, that's just a normal performance. Plus 10, plus 10. Or plus 5, plus 5. Because our proficiency bonus is +5
It's
right now.
charisma based.
And it's charisma based, which I have a +5 to. Bitch, I'm fabulous.
Oh God. I just imagine you like taking the feat that gives you expertise just for
I am going to, Kat. I hope you know that. Like, and I'm currently tied between taking more dexterity to give Passion a 20 dex to make her even more hard to hit.
I just imagine like
expertise
Onyx
just for her to get even more ridiculously.
Onyx has like this sleeveless suit and like sunglasses on. She looks like a bodyguard.
Oh, you are now by being around Passion. You are now an entourage.
Actually, you make a good point. All of the group of you who are trying to look inconspicuous, make a deception check, and those of you that are trying to stand out or do not care about standing out, make a performance check.
That'll go for me too.
No, Demona does not need to do that. I'll get to Demona in a second.
Can Onyx try to look intimidating instead of inconspicuous?
Sure, I'll allow it.
I got 11 performance.
She's currently selling the bodyguard persona.
13, but I guess Gruk is going for like the punk angst without even trying. He just doesn't care. Which in a way is its own act.
21.
It's cool not to try to be cool, right?
Yeah. Oh my god, everyone is mistaking Gruk for like some like grunge rock artist or something like that.
If he rolled higher, I could see him definitely being mistaken for a hipster artist.
What did Tomo get?
25.
So, Passion, you confidently
Tomo
strut
just
out onto the red
takes her top
carpet.
off.
For the majority of for like the first several feet, you're like, this is bullshit, no one's noticing. And then one person sort of turns and catches you, and you just almost hear this actually the Rye among you would hear this ripple of like, is that Passion? And of voices whispering to each other in the crowd, recognizing you from your fight with the anarchist. And the cameras turn to you guys. Onyx, one of them turns to you and snaps a photo and then sees your face and just lowers the camera and just like changes some settings and turns to snap one at the next person and then looks to Tomo and is like, Tomo is a phantom rider right now, right? And she had that form when fighting the anarchist as well, right? Okay, yeah. They do start like people in the crowd start smacking each other. It's like, and that's the Phantom Rider. These are the people that defeated the anarchist. And you definitely have some attention on you, Onyx. You can tell though that none of them are even though there are like fans that are trying to get in and get closer to people. As soon as they see you, they definitely think otherwise of it. Gruk and Cyberus, neither of you trip or make a fool of yourself, but you don't seem to be garnering any huge amounts of attention one way or the other.
If I notice Tomo trying to compete with Passion, I will use prestidigitation to make like sparks and stuff fly over Tomo.
It's cool.
Oh, you do not want to do this battle. I will absolutely win this fight.
I chose my side. I'm helping.
All right. Because Cyberus decides to do that, Passion, being the most extra bitch ever, will use
no assistant though. No one helping out.
Oh, I don't need an assistant. I'm not that. I'm not that bad. She'll use when everyone notices her, she'll just kind of do. I will use illusory script to just kind of do her signature in the air. You want to draw attention? Let's fucking fight.
Are you going to use
Oh, I
enchanting
didn't-
pose after it as well?
Of
I
course.
didn't know this was a Disney Channel special.
Hi,
Passion
I'm Passion,
is a
and this is Disney.
I mean, honestly, Passion would have been
That's-
100% in the equivalent of a Disney Channel special. She would have had her own fucking show
Bitch,
as a child.
I am the special.
Yeah,
That's fucking
she would have had her
hilarious.
own like fucking. I don't know how they're called. I
All
never
have an
watched Disney
inspiration
Channel.
point.
This is like the opening credits of a kid's show.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
So as the cameras are going wild, Demona, you can easily slip down the walk and around the back of the building, where you do actually see a very steady flow of people that are very clearly in like working class clothes, jeans, t-shirts, coats, and bags, looking like they're basically heading to work. Make your way into the building. They do have a like metal detector sort of thing, and want to check your possessions on the way in. But I don't know that Demona carries many weapons with her, does she?
Nothing but the arcane focus and the utility belt that's got all of her materials and brain. Why? No,
Okay, but you don't have like the bombs or anything with you.
no, those
Okay.
were set separate.
They do take a little bit of notice to your the device that summons your Arcanine motorcycle, and are sort of like, what is that?
Keys.
Make a deception check.
I'm not lying. They were designed to look exactly like keys.
They do,
Deception.
but they're very clearly not quite that.
23.
Okay. They sort of sorry, I was distracted by chat. I like realize that there is a growing crowd behind you. All right, come on in. Get head on in. You make your way through the back rooms of this place, which are like long hallways that open into various different changing locker rooms where all of the staff usually like take their change out and put on uniforms and get all their like the cleaning teams get their cleaning supplies. Those in the food service head to the various different areas within the pinnacle where food is. And you can easily make your way to the staff elevators, which you would know would lead to pretty much any floor on this building, including all the way up to the penthouse areas where this meeting will be taking place.
Do I see my agent anywhere?
Did you arrange for them to meet you beforehand, or did you want them to just try and blend in as much with the food staff as possible?
It wasn't the food staff. It was more specifically the assistants and personnel for the VIPs we were going to visit in the first place. That's where I was asking to try and get in either part of our guild or having to contract out if I needed to. But that's up to you.
So I'll say to get somebody in your guild in a position of like influence in a political power is not going to happen in one night. It's not possible.
Right, that's why I asked you several.
The thing is, you've had like 3 nights. It's not, you can't even get an interview in 3 nights for a political position
Okay, that's
in the government. If you wanted to potentially like buy off somebody that is already in that position, that is something that you could potentially do.
I believe I have the means of doing that, yes.
Okay. So I will say, sort of retroactively, go ahead and make a persuasion check for me. Just using Demona's stats.
Copy that. 17 and 8. 25.
Shit. I didn't even know she was proficient in that. Okay.
Very proficient in persuasion, specifically for moments like these.
Okay, so I will say for that, for somebody that is an assistant to one of those politicians would probably be, and then did you know which politician? They're the two that you had suspicions about were the one with all of the bodyguards and the one that was the former spy.
In this case, it would probably be more pertinent to go for the one that was the spy. Mariah Kimura, I believe you said.
Mm-hmm. Okay. In that case, that one would cost. They would have asked for. I'll say 8,000. So 4,000 up front and then 4,000 after.
That's doable.
So I will say that you can. They're sort of. If you wanted to meet them downstairs, you could. Otherwise, you can meet them up there.
More along the lines of just trying to make sure that they're present than trying to
Yeah.
meet and achieve anything.
So you can easily enough make your way to the elevator and head on your way up.
Cool.
The rest of you enter the main entrance hall of the Pinnacle, and the main entryway opens to this sprawling, beautiful staircase that actually spirals all the way up and goes for probably at least 50 floors or so. It looks exhausting. There is, however, a glass elevator, a bank of glass elevators in the center of the this almost like ballroom. The floor of it is just this beautiful mosaic of all kinds of different scenes of frolicking forest creatures, fairies in strange realms within the grid. And you do see that the elevators in this area are probably a little faster than the ones that Demona is on, but they're also much more crowded.
Do we know where we're going in here?
You guys know that you're heading to the top, to the penthouse suite, basically. And there are people in here that are noticing you guys, especially with like how the crowd revved up on the outside on your way in.
Let's try to get an elevator ourselves. I'm going to go towards an elevator that looks like we could do that.
How do you want to try and convince others that you do not want company?
I would just be... we're all very loud and bright. I think maybe we could just try to say, we're going somewhere special. We need an elevator to ourselves. Try to gently convince people to let us alone.
Okay, I will say... You do have... I'll say that, Cyberus, you can go ahead and make a... If you're doing it gently, this would probably be a persuasion check, but I'll say you do have advantage, because you do have a bunch of people backing you up, and it's pretty clear you guys are kind of high rollers around here.
Were we supposed to, like, meet someone here that was going to sign us in and escort us or anything like that?
It's probably going to be up on the top floor, you know.
Okay. 14.
Okay. There are a few people that try to sort of push in and get past you and then look at Onyx and look at Tomo and look at you and kind of think better of it. And you guys do manage to get an elevator to yourselves. And zipping upward, it's strange, like, you know that you're going fast enough that you should feel nauseous, but you don't actually feel any of that. Anything you guys would like to do on your few-minute momentary ride up to the top?
I'm going to look to the group and say, like, what's the plan here?
Well,
No roar, right? We want no roar.
We don't want to fight.
Right.
Definitely no fighting.
Do we have any way of detecting?
Passion looks to Onyx.
Do we have any way of detecting if they're one of those robot things or whatever? The
Yes,
bikes?
actually. I thought of this already, and I have 2 tattoos. One that is Zone of Truth, one that is Detect Thoughts.
Oh, I have Zone of Truth.
Well, if they
but
are,
it'll be not as good, probably.
if they are one of those
No,
things, what should we do then? Should we try to eliminate them, or
We
expose them?
Passion it looks to Cyberus and nod. Exactly. We cannot risk starting a war or a fight here.
Oh,
We must not be seen the ones starting the fight. We can finish, but we cannot start the fight.
Onyx
So-
gives us like, I promise I won't start anything, but you can be sure I'll finish it.
If they're being affected, do we have a way to break that affection?
If they've been affected for as long as they have been, there might be no way of saving them. They, for all we know, could just be puppets to whatever's controlling them now.
Like a brain worm?
So just
Or
like
anything
smash their
Olympic
brains.
based.
I once saw this movie, like the Cyberlight movie, and they had to like destroy the brain in order to like stop them. Nothing else would work.
I could always regenerate their brain.
Is it like that?
Something tells me their brains might be so twisted at that point that there might be no point in doing that.
I will
Right.
say, so you guys had heard about the dangers of these things. Would any of you spend any time trying to do study on them, or either communicating with the professor or just studying about Cyblades themselves?
Gruk
I
would
think
have a
Cyberus-
casual conversation with the professor about it.
I think Cyberus would try to research it. So maybe at that big library.
Okay. I'll say both of you then can roll either nature or arcana checks.
Onyx's research was watching Return of the Cyberlight.
Okay, I'll tell you what that one tells you too.
Get a 16.
Just roll a general intelligence check to see how much of the film she remembers.
Oh no.
I rolled 15 for Arcana.
I rolled 16 for nature.
Okay, so I imagine it was the movie that she watched while she was with Tempest because she rolled a 4.
Cool. Okay. Onyx, you remember that they're Cyblights. You shouldn't touch them because that infects you. You think maybe sometimes, not every time. The movie wasn't very clear on it. It seemed like everybody else that touched them was instantly infected, but the heroes didn't get that immediately.
Oh, good. Onyx is a hero.
Let's see. You know that they could be anyone. They can disguise themselves pretty well. Let's see. Gruk, you know a decent amount about what intellect devourers are like and how they traditionally work. You know that traditionally when an intellect devourer takes a body over, that person is dead. The brain is consumed and completely replaced. And even if you kill the intellect devourer, the body now has no brain. So with regenerate, you might be able to save them, but you typically can't. You also know that the body, as soon as the intellect devourer leaves, it dies. The body can't survive without the intellect devourer that's replacing its brain. You know that they tend to be immune to psychic damage, and a lot of their attacks deal psychic damage. Cyberus, what you know of Cyblights is that they are they can infect other people, and that infection is usually based on how powerful the Cyblight is and how powerful the individual that is trying to infect is. You know that once one is infected with the Cyblight virus, you only have a limited time to cure it, and if you don't catch it soon enough, there's no saving them. You can't come back from that.
Would
I'll
I
say
have
that-
known if like lesser restoration would do anything for that? Because I have that spell. I would wonder if I could use it in any way.
Depending on how much contact they have with it, anything that can cure diseases should be able to cure it, but prolonged contact or contact with significantly powerful Cyblights, it won't work on. I will say you also, you had mentioned that you had talked with the professor a handful of times, so I'll say that you also maybe sent him an email. And from his notes, he also mentioned that the Devs, the Cyblight Devourers, are slightly unique, and that body thief ability, the ability where they can take over another humanoid, allows them to their sort of mechanical nature allows them to sustain the body of a victim indefinitely. So basically, they can take a body off, put it in a closet, and pick up another one, which makes it very difficult to find them because the body doesn't just instantly die as soon as they leave it.
That's not good. Well, it looks like we don't have much of a good way to fix them. But if we can like reveal that they're affected, then we'd be free to take care of it in that way. That's what I think. The trick is revealing that though. I guess we have to try to trick them with words, maybe.
You're muted, Vex.
Sorry, just to Callie myself. There are a few ways, but I'm sure we can figure it out.
I guess we could always just try Zone of Truth and say, "Are you this thing?"
They don't have
Yeah.
to answer.
They don't
That's
have
true.
to answer, but if they don't answer, it'll say just as much as if they do.
Also, they might resist it.
Well, we
Which-
just have to do it over and over until it works.
And
That's definitely how it works.
I mean, it does work that way.
I can cast it a bunch of times.
I mean, and honestly, it lasts. You don't even need to cast it multiple times. You only need to cast it once.
Oh, do I have to keep rolling or something?
If I remember properly,
I thought if they
No,
weren't
if they
affected.
It's
pass
every-
the save.
it's with every single question, though, is it not?
I don't think so. It's when you cast the spell, I'm pretty sure.
Until the spell ends, a creature that enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must make a charisma saving throw. So you could push them out and then pull them back in, or tell them, "Hey, can you leave?" and then come back. And you know if they fail or succeed it too.
Mm-hmm.
And Passion's like, just follow my lead. I have a plan. So just follow my
All
lead.
right. I trust you.
So you guys make your way up through these floors. You see the first areas that you see are like this massive casino filled with dozens of floors of bright, beautiful, lush carpets and I don't remember what they're called. The
chandeliers,
machines.
The what?
slot machines.
Yes, that's the word.
Pachinko machines, actually. If it's if we're if it's Los Angeles,
He went like this. That's
then
a slot.
If
Yeah,
it's
it
Los
was-
Angeles, it's slot. If it's Neo Tokyo, it's pachinko.
It is right on the border, but it is technically Los Angeles.
So probably both, a mix of both.
It could have
Yeah.
both, yeah.
A bank of malls, a massive, beautiful arena for concerts, which Passion you actually recognize. A small glimpse of what actually looks like a chapel of some kind or a church. And then dozens of beautiful, elaborate ballrooms, some of which have massive parties ongoing. Before we finally arrive at the top, which is relatively quiet aside from a handful of staff that are puttering around and setting things up, arranging tables, cleaning off the glass windows as you guys approach and immediately scatter and an individual steps forward with like hors d'oeuvres. The room that you're in opens is like carpet, and then there is a bank of glass doors that open into a much larger room with various different tables and everything. And inside, you can through those doors you can see one large long table, which is pretty clearly intended for you guys to meet at.
When does Demona meet up with the group?
I'll say probably not quite yet. Probably in about another like 5 minutes or so. The elevator that she's on is a little bit slower.
Did you say there's like refreshments or crafty?
Yeah, there is a elven woman walking around with a like tray of various different hors d'oeuvres that she's offering, and you can very clearly see a bar over in the corner that has a human man.
I'm gonna take slightly more hors d'oeuvres than they want me to.
Okay.
Just try everything.
They do not react whatsoever and immediately have look to another person who refreshes it and brings another around for the rest of you. I'll say at that point, you guys walk in, you actually see that off in the corner of this room is a one of those round tables that had looked mostly unoccupied. You see is actually occupied by a crowd of burly looking individuals in suits that are very clearly protection. And among them,
Tried to spell hors d'oeuvres in my notes.
you see a
There's-
woman.
They're among us.
You see a
It's pretty
woman
sus.
in a like velvet dress that has blue sleeves that drape all the way down to the ground, and this very large, long, elaborate golden necklace. You guys can pretty much surmise that this is Emiko Sasaki. She sort of just looks over to you guys, sort of appraising you from a distance. Speaks to her guards and stands up.
What does she say? Half of us are
You have
Rye.
multiple Rye in the party.
They are quite a bit away. I'll say go ahead and make a perception check.
Is it in a language I understand? That's the question.
Go ahead.
Can you
and
read
make a
lips?
I mean, if
perception
one of
check.
the three Rye can hear it, then there's a pretty good chance that one of you has the language she's speaking.
Nobody has observant.
I
No,
have
well, even if you have
advantage.
observant,
But you're not there yet.
if
I
she's
know, that's
speaking
the
a
problem.
specific language we don't know, then it doesn't matter if we can hear it or not. But I'll roll perception.
There we go.
We have observant. Looks at the party. Our party has like one person who's good at perception, and that's it.
Gruk's apathy
Two.
is so off the charts, he rolled a nat 1, so it's fine.
I didn't even notice her. I was looking at the food.
Oh,
Gruk realized that he didn't button up his lab coat. He's supposed to be fancy, so he buttons up the lab coat.
You should try these hors d'oeuvres. They have vegetables in them.
They have vegetables in them.
I hear they're good for my Wunari digestive system.
I need the fiber.
It's good.
Gruk has them. He's like,
She does approach the group of you with the horde of bodyguards behind her. And at that point, you guys also, the elevator dings again, and you see two more individuals exit with, these ones have more people with them, but it's more like clearly staff and assistants rather than like bodyguards proper. You're guessing one or two of them probably are, just because you kind of need security at this sort of thing, but
It's always safe to have
definitely.
security, no matter what you're expecting to happen.
The first one is a man in like his mid 40s or so in a pretty basic suit, looks kind of like an everyman. The other woman is a woman in a knee-length silk black dress with a half cape and a side shave, and she already has a glass of champagne. And I'll say at that point about is when Demona arrives. You see these two individuals exit the elevator, as well as the woman surrounded by a horde of bodyguards who you can pretty easily surmise who she is.
Okay. As soon as I meet up with the party, the very first thing I'm going to do is walk over towards Passion, but act as if I'm walking past her, and whisper, Emiko, largest suspicion. Mariah, less obvious, more suspicion.
Passion will cast message and just whisper back, got it.
Cool.
The best part about message is nobody else can see that and hear it.
Yeah.
I never thought...
Gruk whispers via telepathy, "We sneaky." Because he's got the dumb void rye thing where he can do telepathy, but it's literally only 2 words at a time.
I feel terrible for it, but I just, every time you speak that way, I'm just imagining Corgi Gruk.
Yes, Corgi Gruk every time.
That's just it's just Corgi Gruk in my mind speaking this.
My brain just goes to Petrie from The Land Before Time.
Yes.
And I'm like,
That's
shut
true.
the fuck up, Petrie.
Actually, because I've been busy doing things off camera. Would it be fine if I retroactively wild shaped into a laser corgi, and we had prepared ahead of time a little suit?
I mean, you were a laser corgi when we fought the...
I'll
Yeah,
say
it
yeah,
does.
it would have to be like a regular sized one, probably not
Oh
the
yeah,
diamond
yeah,
ones.
just tiny little corgi.
Yeah, you can do that.
In a suit. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Dapper little shit.
That would actually be
I'm
something that could absolutely steal Passion the show.
No.
I
could
could
try,
see
but-
Passion like on the entryway, like we're like if we were like doing like a Hollywood shit and there was like a limo and like I pop out and be like, adorable little shit.
Still can't beat my 29 in performance.
Oh god, sorry, my computer just dinged and I went deaf.
I love
What?
it when that happens.
Your computer cast
Yeah.
alarm.
Mop.
Basically. So the woman with the silk dress and champagne approaches, nods to the group of you. So, Passion, I presume, Phantom Rider, Onyx, Cyberus,
Gruk,
Gruk, I presume.
Gruk's in a seat.
Yeah.
And then looks over and sees Demona approaching. And Demona, nice to meet all of you. I am Akari Akito. And I am interested to hear what the representatives of Del Diablo have to say regarding your involvement, if any, in the situation.
What hors d'oeuvres are closest to the edge of the table?
The only reason you're doing this is so that you don't have to play part in this political bullshit. Don't even lie.
I mean, Passion
Gruk
did
just
say
gets
they were
kicked
going to do
out,
all of
kicked
it.
out.
It looks like probably stuffed mushrooms.
Okay, I like grab one off the table and I'm under the table. It's not nomming on it.
Under the table?
Yeah.
One of the like staff immediately like jumps to grab you and then thinks
Oh, I
better
run
of it.
away.
'Cause you're wearing a suit.
I thought you were a giant corgi. in this
As you
case.
run
No,
away
no.
and go under.
No, I'm not going to be a
I-
horse-sized corgi in here. Holy shit.
as
I
you
grabbed the
go-
guard. I grabbed the guard by the back of his like what's it
Scruff.
called?
It wasn't one of the guards. It was like
No,
staff,
Hera,
yeah.
it was a staff, yeah.
it was like
Yeah,
a server
staff.
who just saw a dog steal something off of the plate and like instinctively reached out. He didn't actually like try to grab you.
Yeah, I instinctively run
thinking-
away because that's what dogs do immediately
And-
after they do that, and you try to get them for it.
As you dart between the tables, the rest of you see one of the other staff that looks to be sort of just maintaining and filling glasses of water and what sort of thing, just goes like oh my god, so precious, and says
Oh.
nothing.
I thought you were going to say there was
I'll-
like a one of those glass towers, and they like were just almost finishing, and I run past.
Onyx looks to the staff that she grabbed, and it's like, it's not worth it. Just
Rock comes back and he
Apologies.
drops a
Yeah.
half-eaten stuffed mushroom on the ground next to them.
Passion
Probably
is going
doesn't
to
taste that great for a corgi.
No, not at all.
Passion is going to offer her hand to Emiko. It's a pleasure to meet you.
And you. Emiko sort of gives a small bow to the rest of you. She's the one with the horde of bodyguards that you guys all had heard is kind of suspicious. She's also very clearly like one of the more pretentious of the three that are currently here.
I also bow, and they hear in their head, greetings.
Oh, it's so cute. I'm
Is that
sorry.
you or Emiko saying that?
That's me, because my coworker's dog does that because he doesn't know how
He
to sit
talks in your head?
properly. No, he knows how to bow. When he wants treats, he
Yeah,
bows
he
because
sometimes
doesn't
tells
know-
me to kill people.
He doesn't know how to sit proper because he learned how to sit from her husky, who also doesn't know how to sit like a normal fucking dog. And they both bow when they want treats, and it's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen.
They're bisexual. They don't know how to sit.
Realistically, it's more like the fact that this dog is literally 7 pounds and did not know what the fuck to do before he got his balls nipped.
Okay, to sidetrack on the sidetrack, did you see that one lady invented a chair for the not sitting properly in the chair?
Yes.
Uh,
I still think the best one is the chair built for animals with needy pets, and kind of want it. Because my dog is
Onyx
Terry
sizes
the
up
needy
the bodyguards.
Onyx, do I think you could take them all in a fight?
Yes,
Roll
exactly.
an insight check. Roll an insight check to see what your judge of their prowess
Civility?
is.
That dice has failed me twice in a row, so
Failed you for the last time?
it goes into time. You said insight?
Yep.
16.
Okay. Looking at them, you could easily take them one-on-one. With all of them, might be a bit of a pain to get to her. You could easily take them out given enough time and resources, but probably not before she had time to get away.
but what if
Oh,
Onyx...
don't worry, I have a plan for that.
What if Onyx yeeted a laser corgi at them?
I mean, all else fails.
And then
everyone
there
in
would be
a
one dead person and one dead laser corgi.
Like the laser corgi just lands on their face. I'm like, no, I'm allergic to dog fur. Ah!
I mean, guys, you don't have to worry about that. I could just drop a Hunger of Hadar on them, or a Flame Strike, or a Hypnotic Pattern, or a Sickening Radiance. I have a list of CC abilities. I am
Quick
a
question.
Mhm.
Scotty.
Yep.
How fast are your transformations?
The wild sheep is an action.
Action.
I can
So
get out of it
take
as a
about
bonus.
6 seconds?
Kind of, yeah.
Because I just wonder how fastball specialing a corgi can turn into a B-Rex.
Instantly.
I
or
can't
one
cast
action.
spells while I'm in this form. That's the only problem. I can't
never
try to
mind.
cast polymorph while I'm corgi. I'd have to shift back and then cast polymorph.
But
You
shifting back
could-
is a bonus action, then you can cast a spell as an action.
Not true.
None of this is going to come up. So, are they saying anything about politics?
Get a corgi cannon. It's like a t-shirt cannon, but with for a corgi.
That's a Far Side cartoon.
Oh my, no, that's literally a thing in, that's literally a thing in Ruby. They do that in Ruby, Scotty. I hope you know this.
Okay, sorry. Continue, Kat.
The only man so far here introduces himself. He says, "I am Itsuki Yoshida. I am very much hoping that we can come to a peaceful resolution for this. I value the efforts that your group has done to rid the world of the individual that caused the attacks, but our people are struggling right now and looking for who is to fault for this."
Passion will just kind of nod and say, "Of course, it's understandable."
I
We
go-
lost many people that day, including members of our own families.
Passion will say, "We also lost many, so I know it's no
Consolation.
it's consolation, but
heard bad. We're sorry.
It was
2
technically
words.
3 words.
Sucks.
We're sorry is technically 3 words.
Well, we're is
Wait.
1 word.
Yeah, we plus we already is 1 word, Hera. Come on.
It's 2 words.
It's
No,
cheating.
it's
the-
1 word.
It's cheating the dumb system. That's dumb.
Especially you can continuously do it, so like you can just chop off a sentence, like chop it up, and it's weird.
It just sounds like when you have a skipping CD.
The 3 that are there at the moment all sit down, and Emiko's horde of guards sort of form a crescent shape behind her as they sit down and start munching on simple hors d'oeuvres.
I sit at
So-
one of the guards' feet. Like I rest on their feet. Do they
Max leans
try
over
to
to
kick me off?
Passion and like nods over to the guards, and it's like they're kind of cute.
He gently tries to like lift his foot and slide you off, but is very clearly like not trying to hurt you or upset you.
Yeah, I would get the point, and I just get up and I go to the next one, do the same thing.
The next one just kind of looks at you and just kind of like
I'm
much
looking.
more aggressively
I'm-
pushes you away.
I'm looking up
and the
at them
first
like
one is
upside
sort of
down.
just like,
You know, like when dog goes to look up and they're like looking backwards.
yeah, the second one very like just pushes you away with his hand. And at first you're like, ah shit, I gotta go to the next one. And then you smell something behind you.
My butt.
It is not your butt. It is a mini hot dog that the first guard is offering you under the table.
That's me. It's a little me. Butt wiggles, and I head over that way.
Demona, let's see. You actually are probably the first to notice on the elevator coming up is another group of people, and towards the front you actually recognize your contact. And another like group of aides come out, and from within the center of them appears Mariah Kimura. She is a older looking half elf woman wearing a similar dress and like a red scarf or wrap draped over one shoulder, and clearly remnants of like military symbols across there. She has a handful of like embedded psionics in the one side of her face next to her eyes. And she looks to the group of you. Hello. All the rest of them sort of nod to her. She says, I am Mariah Kimura, and I suppose that you are the envoy from Del Diablo, yes?
Yes, of course.
Very well. And she sits down among the group of you. And in the elevator that comes up a second later, another individual walks out, and it's an elven man with long hair that's sort of tied up into a bun and wearing a very beautiful, like, gray suit. And walking next to him is a half-orc individual in a very similar suit, and, like, definitely looks like he's packing, but isn't really too aggressive looking.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Looking around, do I
Mhm.
think like people here are armed?
Um,
Are any of us armed? I mean, Onyx
got 4
obviously
arms.
is, but
Passion is not obviously armed,
so
but
I'll
it's
say that-
passion, so
Demona's spell focus is her cell phone, so yes.
because you guys were expected and were kind of VIPs, you were not searched. You do know that it was kind of expected that you were not to show up with any obvious weapons. Of these individuals here, it's pretty clear that the bodyguards are packing. None of the roll a this would be perception, I think. Yeah.
Ooh, that was a good roll. Dirty 20.
Okay. Looking at them, you do get the feeling that one or two of these like politicians could potentially be carrying something just based on the way that their clothes are. It could hide something, but the only ones that are like very obviously packing are the horde of bodyguards and the guy that just walked in, the big half orc. But he is not hiding it whatsoever. It's a very visible shape on his side.
Okay, so it is a gun. It's not like
Mhm.
a great sword on his back or something.
No.
Not that obvious.
No, not quite that obvious.
So Demona would more than likely stay a little bit away from the tables, stay standing for this whole proceeding.
Mhm.
Definitely keeping an eye for any type of slip of information, a nod or something from that agent, but not trying to be staring at them the entire time so it looks obvious.
Okay. I, real quick, am going to throw some notes into the...
A corgi, a little corgi comes up to you, Demona, and in telepathy it says, "Everything good?"
Can you read minds back?
Unfortunately, no.
You just give a nod, though, right?
Yeah.
Nod, shake the head, or do you have message?
Yeah, if you nod or shake the head, that's all I would really be expecting anyway. Gruk
Or
just
hell,
seems
even
to be
just like
doing
a thumb up, thumb down, kind of like, or even like right. There's very basic ways to respond back without responding back.
You pretend you don't know him.
That'd be a little rude considering.
Okay,
it
wait,
would just
what
be a
other
simple
hors
nod.
d'oeuvres are there?
Mini pecan pies?
They don't matter too much.
Sure.
Okay, so Gruk says,
Pretty-
"Hi, yes, mushroom, no."
She
Are there vegetarian ones?
Mushroom.
Yes, there are.
Okay, good.
There are all kinds of different things in here. It's pretty covers quite a gamut of different flavors and tastes. Let's see.
And Kat, before everyone goes and fully sits down, Passion is going to retreat to a bathroom here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, as everyone is sort of gathering drinks and food and making small chat amongst themselves, what is Passion doing?
She's heading to the bathroom and kind of doing a quick check. Is it like a single person bathroom? I'm assuming it would be.
I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
ripping a huge shit.
Just dropping the biggest fucking deuce you've ever seen.
So
You gotta do that before you come.
it's one of those really fancy ones where it almost, when you first walk in, almost looks like a little living room and has like a proper like tiny vanity in the corner with a little bench, and then branching off from there are 3 different rooms for private bathrooms.
All right, she's gonna head to one of the private ones, and
They
when
got
she
one
gets
of those dudes that stands by the door with a towel.
Yeah, there absolutely is. Yeah.
oh, what movie was it where they did that and he turned out to be like a bad person? I can't remember what movie that was. Fuck, my brain's not working.
Probably a bunch of movies.
Oh no, it was Austin Powers, where the guy is sitting there doing the thing and he's blind. He's supposed to be blind, but he's doing like, and it's ridiculous. But yeah, while I did, I'm gonna do a quick perception check just to see that I'm alone and there's nothing here. That is an 18.
Okay. Seem to be, aside from the person at the door, don't see any kind of cameras or anything or evidence of other people in the other bathrooms.
I am then going to, while I'm in here, cast my first spell of. I'm going to cast the first spell of Detect Thoughts.
Okay.
And then walk out of the room and back into the main room.
Okay.
Just to be safe. Because the nice thing about Detect Thoughts is it can really not be detected unless I try to invade it even further.
Okay.
That is the terrifying thing. And when I get there, I'm going to use my action to check Emiko. Check what her surface thoughts are.
That is a good question. Give me 1 second. I am trying to make Google Docs do the thing that I want it to do, and it is not obeying. There we go. To make life easier, I have made a document that lists out all of the politicians that you know at the moment and what you know of them.
Mm-hmm. Awful sus.
Unfortunately, that's exactly what I put down on my notes before I told you.
So Gruk isn't just harassing Demona. Like Gruk's just going through the group and making his rounds. Just like, hey, does anyone notice anything? Essentially.
Okay.
Only when they're like not busy with something. Not like if someone's in a conversation, he's not going to interrupt it.
Onyx,
So-
why are they all hot?
Because it's Onyx, and Onyx thinks everyone's hot.
So, would Gruk have had any type of insight onto subtle signs? Like, for example, if Demona will tap the tip of her foot against the ground, would that catch your attention?
Since we have actually not discussed having like code signals and stuff, I would say
Okay.
no.
Yeah,
But-
like maybe if it was in a specific pattern and he was nearby, then maybe yeah.
But if you set up something with him on one of his rounds and he goes to check with you, he would watch out for that.
Okay. It may be one of the situations where Demona will grab an hors d'oeuvre as you come around, give that an excuse to bend down and give it to you, and just make the quick mention of tapping the foot means I've got some information, and either direct you towards a target or just give you a heads up if something's going on.
Gruk nods and trots off.
And then she'll shift her detect thoughts to Kimura.
Yeah. Okay, so first on Emiko. The initial thought that seems to be crossing her mind is
Pickles?
wondering how long this is going to take to convince them of the way that she feels.
And I assume I'd also get what
And
her.
Man,
Yeah.
I can't wait for genocide.
the the feeling is kind of it's not a specific like I want them all dead. You know, it's more of just a nebulous anger that seems to be directed at. Initially, your thought is like everyone in the room, like everyone in Del Diablo, but maybe
It seems more aimed than that.
it actually feels more expansive than that. Like she's angry at everyone. But that's about as far as you can go without digging deeper.
Are you sure she's not focusing on Demona?
And then, yeah, like I said, she'll shift to Kimura for a surface level thoughts.
Okay. Surface level thoughts of wondering what your stakes are in this. Looking around to the group of you, clocking, looking at passion, and just going celebrity.
She's sizing us up, kind of thing.
Yeah, like passion is celebrity, loves the spotlight, maybe a little obsessed with self-image, looks over at Gruk, and first thought is adorable dog.
Makes
Druid.
makes eye contact?
Hmm?
Does she make eye contact?
Yeah, she makes eye contact with you.
I
and,
waddle
like,
over.
She holds a hand out
Greetings.
towards you. Hello.
Talks go well.
Hopefully. Hopefully indeed, little one.
When she says that, what is
And
going
she's
through her
saying it-
mind?
She's saying it on audibly.
In her mind, kill the dog, kill the dog, kill the dog, kill the dog.
Kill your family.
Um,
Kill your family.
It's a mix of like, this is a weirdly strange little creature, aware that he's obviously something other than just a dog.
Mm-hmm.
And also a very small hint of like, I need to be careful around this one.
All right.
We hope for peace as well. I actually kind of like that now. Like the two word thing's stupid, but I kind of like how you have to pause between them.
Honestly, I think it's just dumb because it's like, why bother limiting it?
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
can just
Mechanically,
send
it's
code.
dumb.
if it takes no action, what is the point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a limit in combat.
Why?
Why?
I don't know.
Because there's
Honestly, no,
there's-
like genuinely, hands
Yeah.
down, having telepathy in combat is fucking game changing. Do you remember all the tactics that we used on that shit? In
Yeah,
Franklin?
but the range, my range of telepathy, it's like why? Why
I
bother?
mean,
with
but like, even if you have
If you're
telepathy,
invisible, if everybody is invisible, that's pretty powerful. Or
there.
like, what's your
Yeah,
range
but
on it?
the two word.
it's only 30 feet.
Can you
So
send
the
it to
thing
people who
is-
don't know who you are and like trick them?
It doesn't take an action, right? Though
Yeah, it's just
So
talking.
you might as well just make it unlimited at
it's
that
it's
point.
it's effectively a free action. So and
You could write the entire an entire Shakespeare collection in someone's head in a single turn, and there
No,
would be
you
no
cannot.
no, you can't because it's up to the GM how much you can actually say. But
true. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
talking is a free action.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep doing what I was going with, and you just pause every two words.
Just as crying is a free action.
Yep, exactly. And I say, "Good day," and I leave. I go off to talk to someone else, I guess.
Gruk, Passion would kind of look to you and
I waddle over.
kind of try to get you to go to Emiko.
You smell like bathroom.
One second, let me check something quickly.
Passion. 1 second. Flame strikes the dog.
How tall are your heels? That might hurt more.
Her heels are probably a good few inches. Passion is definitely a like stiletto wearer.
Yeah, I was about to say they're D4 piercing. Yeah.
D4 piercing. There's just a dagger on the end.
Has
you
D4
know,
on the
you know, how, like Bayonetta has the guns on her heels. Passion just has daggers as her heels.
I still
mean,
want to play one of those games.
it's
hear
so
they're
good.
It's
I
not
hear
an
they're good.
obvious. It's not an obvious weapon, right?
Yeah,
It's very good. It's a lot happening on the screen. It's very
it's
It's
a-
hack and slash. I've played those games.
It's hack and slash. But what Passion will do is she'll use prestidigitation
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
to just blow a bunch of smell into Gruk's nose.
Ew.
Are you being mean to a dog? That's not nice.
Yes. Hey,
I-
nobody knows.
I don't like smell,
I can smell.
of chlorine or bleach.
That's
Gruk
understandable.
is technically not a dog.
So
But Gruk would still have the senses of a dog in that.
Oh,
yeah,
at this form,
absolutely.
yes.
that immediately brings up the question: can you use prestidigitation to chloroform somebody?
No.
No.
You can make them smell chloroform, but I want
They would
Make them
actually
smell
be able to
chloroform.
know what it smells like without passing out, which would be very
Exactly.
weird.
Because for the very thing, it has to be an instantaneous, harmless sensory effect.
Technically, that would be
That's a
harmless, but
But it's not a sensory effect.
Okay,
Yes,
to be
it is.
fair,
Sensory
that was
is
meant for
senses.
more for a joke, not for in-depth
Yeah.
discussion to derail the king.
No, let's
we're
go
nerds.
into it.
We're nerds.
We're
No,
talking
it's a
about
sense.
chloroform. It takes a lot more than they show in the movies.
Yeah, like smell is a sense that you
Cat.
can. Yeah.
Cat with chloroform, all I remember is Reese in our chloroforming his dad.
What?
It takes.
This
It
was in a
takes
game,
lot.
right? Was this in a game?
Yes,
This is
it
in a
was a
game.
game.
Okay,
it was a
okay,
game,
thank
it was a
you
game.
for the context.
No, Reese's character in Kids on Bikes chloroformed his dad and then took his blood.
It wasn't Kids on Bikes. It was Tales from the Loop.
Oh, Tales from the Loop. Sorry, same
And
difference.
We were realizing that we were in like an alternate dimension and that we weren't the same people that were originally from this dimension. So to prove it, we needed blood from somebody that was clearly from here. So we're like, we need blood from your dad, who's kind of a jerk and an alcoholic. So we're like, cool, how are we going to get that? And the shady dude that we were talking to that has this lab in a van that's definitely not a don't take candy from strangers van gives him chloroform.
No, not just chloroform. Chloroform in an empty syringe.
And Reese is just like, as a person, just like, how the fuck am I gonna do this? And then turns to, in his character's voice, to, Dad, does it smell like chloroform to you?
And his dad was like, no, it doesn't. And then,
Oh my god.
Completely deadpan. Whew.
Kev did really well with that. That was great.
God, that game was great. So, anyway, that's what Passion and Gruk are doing.
Passion is telling Gruk to go to motioning for Gruk to go to Emiko now.
Okay, you sense from his head, god damn it, this limited telepathy sucks. As he goes that way.
God damn it, this sucks. You sort of approach her and you see the one guard on the end that had given you the mini wiener has another thing under the table, sort of waving it at you. But you avoid him and head straight to her.
I have high enough wisdom I can avoid my dog instincts at the moment, and I go to her.
She just sort of looks down to you.
Hello.
Hello. That is.
And with this, also Passion will also change it to read surface thoughts of her now.
Okay.
How are you doing tonight?
That is a peculiar talent there.
Talent is a word for it.
I'm doing. From Emiko, at that point, Passion, you get the feeling of they planned well for this.
I'm sorry about Burners. Lost eyes from them as well. But got better. Lucky one.
You are lucky. They are weapons of terrible destruction that the world did right by abolishing them and erasing all memory of how to create them after the Machine War. And we're very invested in tracking down whoever would find reason to create such a terrible weapon of war again. Passion, when she talks about creating this weapon, you kind of get the feeling of, like, at the same time, a understanding that there's a level of, like, fear of it, but also, like, almost a kind of respect for such advanced and dangerous technology.
We are in agreement.
And at
I feel like I'm a robot.
point,
It's like robots. But anyway.
a little bit. At that point, acting president Benziva arrives out of the elevator, sort of carrying piles of papers and books and different things, and struggling a little bit. A reminder again, acting president Benziva is a tattooed kobold in a suit who's kind of struggling carrying everything he has. Sort of drops everything in his briefcase onto the table, and sorry, folks, for the delay. but I've brought the paperwork as requested and a handful of renditions of possible treaties if we would like to get started.
Of course. Actually,
Gruk hops up to his chair. I assume all of us have assigned to chairs.
I will kind of look to everybody. I'll let you go first, Kat.
I'll say you guys don't really have assigned chairs.
Oh, then just a chair.
Yeah, they're kind of spread out a little bit, so you guys would be split up. So like they're like every one of you is one of them, basically.
Who am I sitting beside?
Who do you want to sit beside?
Probably Emiko.
Okay.
I sit beside that one bodyguard.
Okay.
I like them. They're nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then Pasha will kind of look around as we're getting ready to start. Say, if it's not too much of a problem, I figured for the best of everyone, if it's not a problem, to ensure things move smoothly, would you mind if I casted a zone of truth, just so that everyone here is safe about this? And I will happily also and make sure that I am being truthful as well. And she's going to lock her thought. Keep using her detect thoughts on the spy this time.
Oh, okay.
Because Passion knows, like, what she is probably way more paranoid about this than Passion is, than Emiko is going to be.
Okay, so let's see.
I'm sitting next to Demona, but I turned the chair around because I have a lot of stuff going on in the back.
Okay. So President sort of looks around to the group of them before settling his eyes back on I think I said it was Emiko that settling his eyes back on Emiko, and she sort of looks around everyone else, nods. Passion, you do get a sense from Mariah that isn't a word or phrase, but is more like the image of a ring on a hand appearing where it hadn't been there. And
I have a question. When I look at her hand, does she seem to be wearing a ring?
Does not seem to be.
Do I smell a ring? Okay.
Is it Elden Ring?
Never.
And I believe everyone needs charisma saving throws.
Onyx horribly failed.
Yes, it is a charisma saving throw.
Yeah, and
60-foot range.
we can volunteer. Yes. That's one of the ones that we can actually voluntarily fail, right? Because it's zone of truth. Right?
Technically, it doesn't say that you can, but I would say that it would make sense that you can.
It's one of those ones
voluntarily fail.
Yeah.
And
then Onyx would also, like, she didn't fail it, she just didn't try to
I
resist.
have.
What's the DC for the tattoo version?
The DC would probably be my casting. Passion would definitely get it to her casting stat, which is 18.
21.
All right.
Okay, yeah, I fail. Just want to make sure.
I also failed.
And I know who passes and fails.
Mm-hmm.
So
23.
All right, keep your
Okay,
secrets
so first off is Akari, who rolled in with the champagne. She failed. I'm just gonna roll once for each of them, and we'll say that's what it is until something happens.
Until something happens, yeah.
Emiko failed. Mariah. Get on the freaking tray. Mariah, she neither passed nor failed. She seems like the spell didn't affect her. God, fucking ball tits.
Cat's like, God fucking damn it, Vex.
I mean, you're asking her to roll against one of your saves.
I mean, I don't even have any input on this.
It's DC 18 too. That's a tough one.
Itsuki. Oh, okay. Itsuki actually passed. And Benziva passed. Yeah, so all of them sort of look around wondering who else passed or failed.
And one
Ask
second.
your questions.
Passion. Well, first, Passion is going to kind of look at the ones who passed, kind of cock an eyebrow, and this is intentional to even her own side who passed, because she is in the end trying to seem fair and balanced.
Tomo pushes the message to you through her HUD. I'll just send it to you in the chat.
You get the idea from President Benziva that he just sort of like looks around sheepishly and does not make eye contact very much. Itsuki, looking at him, he doesn't even... So, like, at first, he doesn't understand why you're looking at him and then thinks about it and...
Hey, Kat, I'm trying to turn my passive thought on him now.
Okay. Looking at him, you get the sense of, like, it was an accident. Like, he didn't intend to pass.
She'll, if he sees...
She's too likable.
You start to get, images of a human man in like long robes teaching him as a child, and he sort of thinks about it for a second, and then you feel the spell take effect, and he has failed now.
She kind of gives a smile and a nod.
So, what do you want to ask?
So she kind of would look to everyone and say, well, to start, we should try to at least explain our positions. So she'll kind of motion to whoever, like, kind of look to the others and say, whichever one of you wants to start, we'd love to hear it.
Acting president sort of stands and says, so we've come together to discuss the repercussions and allegations being thrown around regarding the burner event, a terrible tragedy that hit the government of Neo Tokyo the hardest of all the nations of Radix. We are looking to find a peaceful solution that does not result in war, partially just because of the terrible loss of life, of course, and partially as a putting a thought towards the ancient treaty that Passion spoke of during her address on Henshin Day, of course.
Passion would, with that mention, go and pass out copies that she's gotten to everybody in the room that doesn't have one already, aka her group.
Okay. Okay. They all take them, and you can see Mariah like looking over it and reading it very carefully. All of the rest of them are just like taking it, going like
do
a
the
glance
politician
over.
look.
Yeah, like she is combing through
Mhm.
it.
Whereas, yeah, Mariah is like
Mm.
actively reading it and checking everything.
We saw this being signed.
Is that so? Really?
In a memory.
Itsuki actually at that point sits up and wait, you've in a memory.
It's complicated.
How can
travel?
I say? In fairness,
You've
I'm
met a chronomancer?
yes.
Once.
We've been to his home.
Once.
It doesn't matter how many times.
He was not there.
I am always surprised by the exploits of adventurers, but that's not why we're here.
Of course.
He sort of sits up and says, I've not been very public about it because it's been a tragic time, but I lost a brother and his family in the burner event. And I know many of the politicians here and the staff, and he sort of looks out to like the wall of like wait staff and like people that are working the event, and says, I know that many of the others here have lost loved ones or been hurt or been suffered because of this event. I am going to this. I am here because I want to try and do everything we can to ensure peace. I do not know Del Diablo's intentions with corruption or if they have any ties to the Circle of Night that others have been speaking about. But that's what we're here for, and that's what this spell is for.
Exactly.
El Diablo wishes to survive. Nothing more. Nothing less.
I assume none of us can hear that, so
Does that go to everyone or one person at a time?
Unfortunately, it's one person at a time, and it's to him.
He sort of looks down to you and says,
This is really funny.
That-
I just realized because I'm a corgi, and his little paws are on the table.
oh god, it hurts. It's so fucking cute.
Because I'm trying to be as much head level as possible with everybody at the table, you know.
I'm just imagining the Shibu in the like Shiba Inu face mod.
Oh, I was thinking.
Was it a Shiba or was it a corgi?
I was thinking of, no, it was a corgi. I was thinking of the Shiba. What's his name? Is it Cucumber or something? I'm trying to remember, but he's got his own YouTube channel, and it's just like wholesome, like you are going to do good today, kind of things.
No.
Anyway.
What?
Yeah, you don't
Okay,
know about
this
the
is-
dog from Silent Hill?
I don't know.
oh my
We'll have
god,
to send it to you
how do
later.
you not know this?
It's secret ending stuff from the games.
I don't know
It's
what
great.
either of these are. This is wonderful. Okay, anyway. And based on the fact that he failed, you can tell he is very clearly telling the truth. Mariah sets the treaty down and turns to you guys and says, so if you were there for the signing of this treaty, then you are familiar with those that signed it?
Passional nod. Because I think, remember, we do know who signed them, or at least we saw who signed them.
Yeah, you know, like what they looked like. You don't necessarily know who they were.
Yeah. So what Passion will do is say, is just give a nod and say, one moment, and she'll pull out a piece of paper and start drawing.
Okay.
And what skills did I use for that?
Performance intelligence or something?
I'd say
Performance.
It does not matter. I rolled a nat 20.
Yeah.
Sleight of hand.
So
I think actually it would be calligrapher supplies because that's what
Yeah.
or painter supplies, whichever
Yeah.
calligraphers for this one because I'm drawing, not painting.
Yeah. So you are drawing like that scene that you saw on the hill and
Mhm.
everything. Mariah sort of looks at it and intriguing. And you just saw them. You don't know the names of any of these individuals.
Unfortunately, not. All we were shown was their looks.
This lighting is not better.
Well, it at least it fits the time period of what you're speaking of what this when the supposed corruption war was happening. And she says, but I am more concerned with ensuring that Neo Tokyo does not suffer this again. We want a guarantee that Del Diablo will not attack our people ever again.
Passion will look to her and say, from my contact, I have talked with the people, with the leaders of Del Diablo, and they are willing to send aid to help with this. They do not wish for war. They just want to help. They were hit as well in this. Remember, they lost many as well.
She sort of nods. And at that point, Ikari, the woman with the champagne and the silk dress, sort of sits up and... So, Aid, you say, in what manner? I've heard stories of some of the advancements that Del Diablo has. We're currently struggling with food production.
In terms of cat, because I did ask the I think it was Susan, what she would be able to send as help, as aid, and she said she'd get back to me at some point on that.
Yeah, so I'll say that they can provide a pretty significant amount of like physical goods for aid for like food and water and medicine and those sorts of things. Obviously, they would need to go through some decontamination stuff, but they can definitely do that. There wasn't a precise number set on it, just that
Passional
it would
said,
be enough to help significantly.
Passional kind of I'm assuming that was sent to her like through an official channel that she would have been able to print off.
Yeah, I think Susan okay, yeah, I'll say that Susan could have sent
me data for it, and she printed it off through using Benziva's stuff. Right? There's so many ways she could have printed it off. But yeah, she'll pass that around as well. So this is what one of the ladies has said they'd be able to offer. They haven't put exact numbers, but that's what we're here to talk about, and that's why we don't know what exactly you need. You know better than anybody, so there's no point in us dictating numbers when we have no clue.
This is certainly something that we could use, and she like passes it down the table. Emiko kind of looks at it and what are our guarantees that there's not some remnants of corruption in this? There's no strings attached in any of this. There's no...
Are you worried about... If you're worried about them trying something underhanded with corruption...
Well, yes, of course.
Of course. Passion will kind of look and say, I understand entirely. You can have your own people check it out as well. Obviously, we're not going to force you to eat the whatever without checking it to make sure it's safe. I'm assuming that both sides would... I'm assuming Del Diablo can at least deal with the corruption on that, and then you can inspect it afterwards. Correct, right?
Surely you have De-Fraggers.
And
We have-
almost fails, we can contact an order of De-Fraggers who can act as a neutral ground in this as well.
At that point, Hayadu, the elven man in the suit with the big half-orc bodyguard, sort of sets up. So you have contact with the Order of De-Fraggers?
Passion will look to Cyberus. Our friend here is a De-Fragger.
Truly. And you're from Del Diablo.
Yes.
Interesting.
When you heal the sick, you have to go where the sick are. Is that not true?
That is surprisingly insightful.
Okay, we don't know each other
I feel
that
like
well,
that is
but
said slightly with a bit of
Oh,
bitterness. And
not a bit. He's being very asshole-ish.
And Passion will also look and say, and if needed, we could also always get the Henshin to be a mediating party as well.
they'll probably
Fair
do it without
enough.
being asked.
Let's see.
The guy who insulted me, by the way, was it Hayato?
Yeah.
Of course it was.
Making a note.
Making note, punch in face when fight starts. Cat's already making
I'm
a
gonna
note
throw his
too.
orc at him.
Beat him to death with his own bodyguard.
Yeah.
That is, I feel like that needs to be put somewhere.
Wasn't that Cat? Wasn't that Hayato?
I'm gonna throw
not
his
Itsuki?
own orc at him.
Cat? Wasn't that Hayato, not Itsuki, by the way?
You're right. It was. Thank you.
I saw that and I'm like,
I appreciate you. Thank you.
making sure that Cat doesn't make that by accident, because Itsuki
Yeah.
seems like one of the more level-headed ones.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Passion will kind of look to them and say, Del Diablo does not wish for war. And in this time, war is the worst thing that we could be doing, given the rise of this Circle of Night.
That is a concerning thing. And Hayato actually sits up and says, so what do you know of this Circle of Night? You've clearly taken out one of their rank already. What more do you know about them?
Passion will look at them and say, we have taken out one. We have met, I've met personally with two of them in the past. The others we know only from word of mouth and to kind of pause here, from the death of the Henshin Prime when those files were dropped. That's the most we know about them.
Technically truth.
It is entire truth, actually, in Passion.
Well, like, technically you learned about them in his brain, but you learned about them in his brain while he was dying.
Those are type of files.
And in the end, most of what we got from the Circle of Night was like the biggest one we learned about from his memory was the big bad guy,
the tyrant,
the tyrant, right?
Yeah.
Passion is being very general with it because they are not asking specifics at the moment. Until they ask specifics, she'll give specifics.
So while Passion and the rest of these guys are debating, what are the rest of you doing? So I know Gruk was sort of keeping an eye on everybody and using telepathy occasionally. What's Onyx doing, if anything?
When I get the chance, I
Onyx-
snoop around.
Okay.
Onyx learned a lesson. She does not want to cause an international incident, so she shuts the file up and just keeps also an eye on everyone, seeing if anyone like.
So you're
tries to
you're like the bodyguards. You're just the muscle sitting there.
Sort of, and like trying to read like the room if like people get nervous or something like that, or
Okay.
like
Roll
stuff like
a insight check for me.
Gruk can't.
18.
Okay.
Gruk brings you a stuffed mushroom because he knows it's hard for you.
I will let you know what that 18 gets you in a second. What is
mushroom in this trying times?
Exactly.
What is Cyberus doing, if anything?
I'm paying close attention to the back and forth and trying not to jump in with a bunch of incendiary statements about how they're wrong and they have the wrong idea.
Okay. What about Tomo?
I'll do it
Oh,
later.
sorry.
No,
No,
that's
what's
it.
up? Okay. What is Tomo doing, if anything?
Not much. Kind of in a similar thing to Onyx. She's not. She was seated at the table, but after a little bit, she got up and just started wandering around like the side that most of her companions are seated at.
Mhm.
Like just kind of pacing back and forth.
You're not sure how, but Gruk brings you champagne.
Please tell me he balances the glass on the very end of his nose.
That's
Your
what I was
ability
thinking.
gives you
I'm,
have
like,
kinesis.
The like teeny tiny little thing in his mouth and just very slowly walking with teeny tiny steps.
That void ray ability lets you use minor telekinesis.
That's true. That'd be less than a pound, right?
Yeah.
All right. It just floats over Nick, and then I'm like next to you.
Thank you.
Somebody wants you to drink.
I offered you champagne
so-
in this trying time.
You were similar to Onyx. What were you specifically looking for or trying to determine?
I think Tomo's probably eyeing the bodyguards a little more suspiciously, especially if it's like you said, it was kind of clear that some of them are armed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like she's kind of watching their hands to make sure nobody's moving
Okay.
for a weapon.
11 insight. Or sorry,
Roll for insight.
there you go. I heard the word 11. And I'm like, oh, is that what you rolled? Okay.
No. We're not at a casino doing a heist.
Nah, not right now.
No, we're not stealthing.
We
Not
wanted to
this time.
finish to politics first.
17 insight.
Okay. And then what is Demona doing? If
Waiting.
anything.
Oh yeah, definitely waiting for that agent to get some type of information to her, because that's what we bloody well
Mhm.
paid for.
Setting up
but also,
seismic charges. You know.
I'll say that while Passion is passing out those papers talking about what Del Diablo could offer, this aide actually like steps forward and takes them and starts passing them out. And as she passes you, you feel she like brushes past you, and you feel something in your pocket.
okay, then as subtly as I can without having many, or if anybody's focus on it, I try and figure out what that is. I'm also keeping my eyes specifically on Mariah.
Okay.
If I need to, I can actually use the form that was handed out to everybody to hide what wasn't given to me in my pocket and get a close-up view for it.
So looking at it, it seems to be a sort of hastily scribbled note, because you do see that a lot of the aides behind them are actually taking notes on this conversation to, like, of course, record everything said for posterity. And this one wrote down think Mariah has a ring of mind shielding, and she and Emiko are up to something. Not sure what. Anything you do at all?
I've got to figure out some way of transferring that information.
Meanwhile, for those of you who are inciting, Tomo, looking at the bodyguards, you can tell that they're kind of like, they're not entirely sure exactly what they're supposed to be doing. They were expecting, obviously, something a bit more intense from this. And actually, specifically watching them, you do see that all of them have a just peeking out from underneath the sleeve of their suits. All of them are wearing a very similar gold bracelet. At first, you just thought it was one, and then you're seeing that all of them have it. And there are about, I'll say, 6 of these guards.
Is it a muscle henshin bracelet?
It is not. It's just like a gold bangle that doesn't have a very clear design on it, but just looks like a gold bracelet that seems kind of out of the standard for a bodyguard. It seems a little fancy for somebody that's just doing a job.
Yeah, I'll push a text to Demona, Passion, and Cyberus, I guess, mentioning that to see if they can figure anything out about it. I don't know if I could roll like Arcana on it or something, but
Sure, go for it. Roll an Arcana.
okay. I'll still push that text to them. But...
Okay.
You know, I keep forgetting that we have modern fucking technology in this game.
Yeah.
You know, like your spell book being your phone.
My exact phone, yeah. So yeah, upon response to
I got a 22 for Arcana.
oh,
Nice.
Hi.
in response to Tomo's, yeah, the very short text which specifically say include Emiko's and Mariah's names with the quick note of ring of mind shielding with a question mark to implicate both of them are now possibly working together, but as quickly and as brief of a message as possible, and that would be sent to everybody.
Okay. Looking at the like specifically watching the guards, Tomo, and watching those bracelets, you realize that every now and then they all kind of adjust their hand at the same time, like simultaneously. Not necessarily all in the same way. Some of them like put it in a pocket, some like, put their other hand over it, some just sort of like shift the, wiggle the bracelet around and rearrange, but all at exactly the same time, just throughout this conversation. And then you thinking about it and realize that if they're bodyguards, they probably should have some way to communicate with her. And looking at the large, that like beautiful gold chain on the bottom of it is a gold amulet. Could be magical. Could be either sending messages to them or influencing them in some way. Not 100% sure, but definitely they're involved. Onyx, reading the room, just looking at everyone, you definitely get the feeling that Ikari, the woman that opened up talking about what Del Diablo can do for them, is very much like trying to get something out of this. She's not just here for peace. She wants peace and a little bit of the pie. Emiko seems very closed off, very much like very carefully measuring her words and watching what she's saying. Mariah is a stone wall. It is hard to get any kind of read on her, aside from the fact that she's very clearly good at hiding her true feelings. Hayato, the elf in the business suit, is kind of... It seems like he's more interested in seeing where this is going and sizing the rest of you up than he is truly in the fate of Neo Tokyo.
I imagine Onyx entered a staring contest with Hayato for a moment.
Mm-hmm. He does not blink whatsoever. Itsuki seems a little like very nervous, but also very invested in what everyone is saying. And Benziva is very clearly very awkward and uncomfortable and has no idea how this is going to go.
I actually have a question. Hey, Alt, is Tomo recording this?
Yeah, she's like anytime her helmet's up and enclosed, it's automatically recording.
Yeah, I knew.
It's not
I figured
streaming.
I should ask. I figured I should ask.
Streaming necessarily, but it is recording.
That's exactly it, just in case. Like, I may want to make sure that it said early on that Tomo is recording.
Oh my god, it would be hilarious if you were streaming this. Like just a live stream of fucking peace negotiations.
That'd be a good transparency.
Mm-hmm.
After my
Real
phone
fog.
buzzes a few times, I'm gonna get up for more snacks, and while I'm getting more snacks, I'm gonna check my phone.
Okay.
To read all the things, and then I'm gonna text back to the group. Do I need to dispel something?
You get a text pretty quickly back from Tomo that just says amulet.
I'll text back. Now they'll notice.
Not yet. It's not even a text. You just see it on the back of her jacket with that weird hollow display she has. It just says not yet.
I bet that's confusing to someone else. But I'll keep it ready.
Okay.
Onyx just
literally.
grab some snacks and continues what she was doing.
Try these.
But yeah, unless she's directly asked by someone, she will keep her mouth shut.
Okay. So, as you guys are sort of talking, Mariah sort of sits forward and says, "So, I'm interested to know more about what your stakes are in this, in finding this circle of night. Clearly, you have it out for one of them. Can we rely on a group such as yourself to handle a threat like this?
Are you offering aid?
I'm wondering why you think you're qualified to do this."
It sounds like you want us to receive aid from you for this.
Passion just kind of looks at Cyberus with what are you trying to do here? And well, our stakes are simply one. We have lost people as well, and we have another group also working with us, who is helping with this.
The
I forgot about them.
The who?
I love this. Hayatu actually sits forward.
I thought they were being angsty somewhere.
They are being angsty
Are
somewhere.
they back
right
from
now.
the moon?
The digital wardens, was it?
Yes.
Working with Professor Stockner, was it?
I assume that's the name. I have no clue, Cat. I'm out of character-wise. Passion would.
It is.
Dex does not. Passion will not say yes.
We've heard of this individual and his team. They are useful. Not quite as obviously as efficient at some threats as yourself, but
They do great work. And to add to that, our biggest, well, she'll kind of look, I don't speak for everyone in this group here. I do for a lot of things, but I won't for this. My reasoning for wanting to stop the Circle of Night is a mix of both wanting to make sure that they can't hurt anyone again, and a mix of, if I'm being honest, personal pride of, she kind of pauses, of wanting to see if I'm able to surpass the the Henshin Prime.
Interesting. And he actually like sits forward and is very focused and interested in that. At that point, Cyberus and Tomo. Tomo first. You see the. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes here. You see Mariah sort of move, and your visor goes to complete fuzz. The video cuts, and you lose the electronics in it. Cyberus, Demona, all of you, your phones, basically the connectivity fails. Those of you who are looking at your phones notice. Those who do not see this. Tomo, in sort of surprise or just really shit luck, at that moment, the champagne that you had been holding slips through your hand and shatters. And Emiko stands and grabs the amulet, and all of the bodyguards sort of surround her. And I need everyone to make dexterity saving throws, please.
That didn't affect cybernetics of any kind, did it?
I have a question, Kat. Is this a magical effect?
It is, yes.
Is it a spell? This is a very important thing, because you might just be describing an effect that I can't say no to.
It is a it's a tech-based thing. So it's
okay, so it's not a spell.
Mimics a spell, yeah.
Okay.
How out of nowhere does this come?
I will say
Would danger
because
sense
you
work?
rolled danger sense would work. You were
Danger
watching
sense
the
is
room,
what you can see.
saw, and you basically in a very fast amount of time you heard the tone in a split second you heard the signal of your phone signal dying. Tomo's glass just drop out of nowhere and shatter in a million pieces. And then one of these individuals jump up and get surrounded by their bodyguards. So.
Does this affect cybernetics? Whatever's happening, the phone thing? I don't know if it was like a signal break or an EMP or something.
It's a signal break, not an EMP. So if you have a cybernetic that lets you communicate over distances or like access the internet or something, that would not work, but just cybernetics that do things.
I'm going to say this because I'm a dumbass. I just realized something. I could have solved our entire communication problem instantly. I have Rary's telepathic bond.
Yeah, you do.
As a ritual. I didn't even think of it. I genuinely didn't even. I just got the spell like yesterday.
We spent like half this session talking about doing stuff like that.
But it's funny this way.
Didn't you got it for this event? And
No, I didn't. I didn't get it for this event. I picked it up from what's their names?
You got it like while here, but it wasn't specifically for this one.
No, I got it because someone else had rituals. Because Demona never has rituals.
It's a cool ritual.
19.
I actually have one now.
Oh, hey.
Legend lore.
I might be stealing. What level is that again?
Thank you, Danger Sense.
I actually can use that too.
I might.
It's our spell.
Somehow I passed. I think while I rolled high.
I might know Legend lore quite well. I remember a certain player who would use it. Like
I wonder who that is.
It's
no
so
idea
expensive.
who this could be.
A few 1,000 gold worth of incense worth of casts. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hey, I have what? I can buy like 39 casts of that.
I mean,
on a whim, I can do that.
You should buy an incense shop.
So, as you guys see all of this go off, there is a sort of ticking that all of the Rye instinctively hear and can react slightly a little better to. and the room explodes in a shower of glass from the various bits of silverware, wood slivers from the tables, and shards of ice. As every one of you bitches passed
But only take.
and take.
Well, I'm a male
Still
dog,
significant.
so I'm a son of a bitch.
How much damage do we take, Cat?
I think
So all of you would take half of 115.
Jesus.
Well, I'm not
So
I'm not a corgi anymore.
57 cold damage. If any of you have resistance to that.
Heyo.
57 cold damage. That's how much
You
we
have
took.
resistance to cold
Oh,
damage
no.
as well.
I'm sorry. Not resistance. Jesus, did I just fucking die?
You have vulnerability?
No.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Imagine
Wait.
if you failed while having a vulnerability to
Wait,
it.
wait. 57 or 75?
57.
57.
It was 115 total, but all of you passed. So let's see how well the politicians fare, shall we?
You mean
I
corpses?
feel like we're about to have a
Um,
bunch of dead politicians.
I don't have any
Actually-
reactions for this.
I'm going to say we will pick up there next time because it is 10:20, and I feel like this is a very pertinent moment to end on.
Yeah.
As
I was about to say, because any politician that is still standing after this
Is an enemy.
is extremely sus.
yeah, so we'll pick up there next time. And let's go around and do.
Things go awry.
Ah.
Oh, God.
I never got the chance to yell at that stupid guy that sucks.
So does this mean that servant that was my agent's dead now?
Probably.
With
I will
107
determine next time.
damage?
We'll
You
find
get your
out.
money back, or at least half of it.
It was 115 damage, but
115.
57 if they pass.
We'll find out next time.
Yeah, so we'll find out next time. Going around for plugs. We'll start with Alt. Do you have anything?
Not really. Not this week.
Check out Alt and Colloquy's art. They're amazing.
Yes, that.
Alt's been
Oh.
drawing some really awesome Titanfall mechs.
Yes.
And pin-up calendar, ladies.
I
Thank you.
actually haven't posted that one anywhere because I tend to keep my Twitter
Clean.
pretty clean.
I
Yeah.
mean, just you've done it before, so that's why.
Yeah, I've been debating about just saying screw it and just posting everything on that Twitter since I don't really care anymore.
Pizza.
Thank you for the input.
But pizza.
I wanted to draw attention to it. I don't know you miss it.
It's fair, yeah.
Hey, Scotty, put a slice of pizza.
No.
Luke, what do you got going on?
Just follow me on Twitch on Grigson, Grigxe, and I stream on Wednesdays and either Monday or Tuesday for a few hours.
You're playing Fear 2 or something right now?
I finished Fear 3 last week. Now I'm playing something called Hand of Fate 2, which is
I
like
believe you mean it's Fethreer.
I've heard it both
I'm-
ways.
Fe3AR is how it's spelled.
I have a
It's not in
newfound
Steam.
I have a newfound respect for you for somehow completing that one.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say I think it's called a bad game.
Oh, sorry, it's F3AR, Cat. Here, I'll send you this picture of what the thing looks
Wow,
like.
I hate it.
I hate
It's a
Fear
mix
3.
of horror and action, but it's over now.
Yeah.
Like every third sequel or every third
Is it
of
a
a
horror
horror
because it's a
game
horror?
series, it turned
Is
more
it a horror?
action than horror.
Yeah.
Is it horror because it's horror or horror because it's horrible?
It's horror because
both.
it jump scares you.
There's like
The worst.
jump scare
Think-
stuff. There's
think-
usually a section with action, then a section where you're scared of a ghost.
Think like
Mhm.
Counter-Strike, but then there's also like a ghost possessed lady from the Ring kind of things going
Cat
on.
doesn't know what Counter-Strike is.
She's sort
Yeah,
of an
don't.
ally, sort of. It's not clear.
Modern,
It's
a modern
It's
first-person shooter
complicated.
It goes back and forth.
Okay.
It's complicated.
with bullet time.
Um,
I forgot about the bullet time. It's kind of important.
And the world was almost destroyed during part of it.
What does Hera have going on?
Next Sunday, it didn't work out sadly last Sunday, but next Sunday we're going to play Masks again. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. 12:30 p.m. EST over on Vex's channel, which is Fractured Moon D&D here on Twitch. Vex is also there. That's it.
What do you have going on, Vex?
Well, this week we had an episode of Saffron Academy on my channel where we did shit. We started solving a mystery. We solved a mystery effectively. We have found the person who stole the thing that we didn't even realize was stolen last session.
We actually did mystery shit.
We did mystery shit, and we figured that shit out. So come check us out, not next week, but in 2 weeks, where we get the finale of our guest episode that stretched on for 3 games, which is surprising. Not surprising actually, because we're just really happy to have our friend Amber back on the back in the game.
May 27th.
Yes. And aside from that, like any other shoutouts will be done by Scotty.
Yeah, so I'll let Scott close this out, but first off, I do things on Twitter occasionally, but also more importantly,
Whoa. No way. What kind of things?
I write stuff. I have some stuff on the DMs Guild. The more popular of which at the moment is called Birds of Paradise, which is a 5e racial supplement for Kenku and Aarakocra that I wrote with Florian from Poison Potion Press, who has a super cool Kickstarter up that you should go check out called Eldritch Sands. But Birds of Paradise is a Electrum bestseller right now. It's super cool, and I would absolutely love to see it hit gold. So go check that out. Also, I have a magic item supplement on there called Crook and Wands that I wrote with the fantastic Maddie, or Time Patches on Twitter. And we'll maybe hopefully coming out with another supplement soon. So keep an eye on that. Yeah. Scott, actually, one more. Baltimore by Night, this Monday at noon. We'll be going live on Crow and Chimera channel. And now I'm done. And Scott can close this out.
The Eldritch Sands Kickstarter, are they at 300 backers now?
I have no idea. Let me check.
Because the Kickstarter has been funded, but for those of you that haven't somehow funded it after us seeing it after like every game on this channel to fund it, it's $15 for a PDF and I think $25 for the soft cover or something. It's not bad at all.
Something like that, yeah.
Actually, I would say pretty good. But it's essentially kind of like almost like a post-apocalyptic desert world kind of thing. And your characters have on like exosuits, kind of like Iron Man suits. And they're all different themed ones. I think they just unlocked the goal for the Nightmare suit or something like that. But in the free PDF, they have the Owlbear suit. That's the other thing. They got a free PDF on the Kickstarter. So if you want to see what the themes are, they have like all these different factions and stuff. It's like a 5-page PDF or something like that. Great artwork.
Yeah.
I would definitely check it out. And I guess I would be closing on saying there's going to be no games next week on this channel. Actually, this is the last game until we start up our brand new Wednesday game on the 26th of May. I think about it. Or no. It would unwritten.
No,
unwritten. On the 25th of May at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As we also have a guest on there that's totally not one of the members of this game, as we do Pirate Bumpet Treasure Island shenanigans. And
as they show up to another game with a guest pirate character.
And there might have been an epic duel that ended bittersweet, and a certain someone's fairy godmother would be upset with it. So we'll have to see how that continues next time.
And I have shit planned because of it now.
Mm-hmm. Run by my lovely girlfriend, Cap Callie. So look forward to that.
Yeah. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah. To follow up and see what the hell happens after this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Oh,